I mean, guys, the biggest story of the day was obviously the Deshaun Watson injury. Of course, you'll see that soon. Lions, how did that game go? Are the Vikings still undefeated? Obviously, Mahomes. I mean, very interesting what's going on there in Kansas City. And obviously, Sunday Night Football. How the hell did that game go? Well, it's all going to be coming up here in this one. Here's the play of the day. NFL Week 7 recap.
We're off and running here in Cleveland. Charlie Jones going to play it. About a half step inside his own end zone, and he's got a seam. Jones, Hopkins, unable to beat him, and here we go. Way. Jones, one man to beat him, and he is in. Let's see what the officials say. They may mark him back. Now they say touchdown. Encouragement. See the emotion outpouring from Deshaun Watson. Unbelievable.
Pass rush discipline. There's nothing you're going to do behind the quarterback.
All the way for a touchdown as he does the Nestea plunge. Farrell does it this time. Dalton's got to get rid of it because he felt the backside pressure.
A little high, out of control. Reminds me so much of the Tennessee championship game.
On Wednesday, he's got this to win it. Low snap, the kick. It is good.
And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the NFL. Of course, please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the Week 7 NFL recap. Of course, we will go through all the games on this Sunday, 12 in total. Obviously, first thing, the reminders, the Bears and Cowboys are on a bye this week, so if you were a fan of them and you're like, why aren't they in the video? And then again, if you watched the preview, you would have figured that out too. But in case you didn't, yeah, that's what's going on. Obviously, I go through the injury report. Again, I'm not no neuroscientist or physical therapist or anything like that. I'm not going to be evaluating these guys. I'm just giving you guys some quick injury updates because I mean that is important. You guys want to know who's on the field and who's not. But obviously, we got the highlights to go through as well. Either way, of course, a lot of stuff happened as well. Jane Daniels left the game against the Panthers with a rib injury. Left rib injury, and he's I guess week to week is listed, so that's not really a good thing there. My guess is that he might play against the Bears. That's what I got. He's questionable though. That's the official listing there. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can play because I mean again I talked about it last week and I'm gonna talk about it again this week. That flex game is going to be really fun to watch if he can get out there. Brandon Coleman, I would have to think of a hard time playing against the Bears. The O-line for the Commanders has actually been surprisingly decent this year, which is actually kind of crazy. But yeah, concussion for him. And yeah, he's doing his thing. But again, I hope he can get back. But I wouldn't be too again optimistic on that one. Kenneth Murray injured his shoulder. I wouldn't expect him to play against the Lions, but yeah, again, you never know. What it's called? Deebo Samuel, he got an illness. I guess he won't be able to play. I don't know, something like that. Lucas could be back next week. That would be big, obviously. Dante Jackson, he injured his shoulder on Sunday Night Football against the Jets. Outside of that, though, nothing much there. Giants injuries, Graham Gano could be back. That would be big, obviously, a kicker. No, it doesn't really matter, but still. Layden Robinson, he left early, as well as Demario Douglas. But yeah, he's also has an illness, I guess. Bradley Chubb could be back in Week 8, as well as we'll get to a guy in a minute. Tyler Huntley obviously started for the Dolphins the past couple weeks. It's kind of been a disaster for him. It has a shoulder injury, so again, he left early. Outside of that, though, you could see Tyler Higbee back on Thursday. I'd say no. As well as same thing with Joe Nope. He might be back, but I'd say no. Same thing with definitely Steve Avila. I think he'll be back in Week 9. I don't think this week, though. Isaiah Pacheco, again, he could be back. I guess, maybe. I don't know. They'll figure something out there. Jeff Okudah, hip injury. Quay Walker has a concussion. Outside of that, though, Emmanuel Mosley could be back next week. That would be a big one for them. After that, again, just basically some normal questionables. All right, now for today, obviously the big injuries we'll get to in a minute. But Dorrance Armstrong did injure his ribs as well. Commanders guys' ribs are just really weak, I guess. Jarius Sneed is questionable for next week with a quadriceps injury. Jalen Duncan really screwed up his hamstring. I hope he's back, but it doesn't look great for him. Again, we got Niners stuff. For the Niners? Brandon Aiyuk just absolutely destroyed tore his ACL and his MCL. Typical injury again with that ligament there. Again, ACL he's going to be out. He could be back next year, obviously, but he's going to be out for the remainder of this year. So big hit for that Niners offense. And again, this kind of looks like the 2020 team. I'm just going to say that right now. Juwan Jennings hip injury. He left early. I think he didn't even play. Again, CMC we still don't know anything on. DK, of course, he left the game early against the Falcons on that really weird hit. He has an MCL injury. I don't know if he's going to be out for the game. It was better than what they thought it could have been, so that's good, but it's still not great. Dallas got the tight end's questionable. He left early as well with that hammy. I think he didn't even play. What am I talking about there? Chris Olave concussion could be back next week, as well as Derek Carr, of course, with the oblique. Of course, the Saints were on their mini bye this week. What is it called? Patriots have some guys injured. Outside of that, though, where are the Browns? All right, they're up there. All right. Outside of that, though, Aaron Jones and Caleb Evans are both questionable for Thursday Night Football. Outside of that, though, Rams injuries. Jordan Whittington. He played versus the Cardinals, but not the Cardinals. He played versus the Raiders, but didn't really play. We'll get to that later. He should be back, as well as Cooper Kupp. Again, that's a big, obviously, injury. Update coming in this week. He will, and I think he's going to play against the Vikings. He's ready to go. That is just, again, we need him so badly. We need Jordan Whittington so badly. Again, you'll see why when we get to the Rams game, but yeah, it's very obvious there. Juju Smith-Schuster will not play against the Raiders. They got a big game in Week 9, though, so yeah, he'll probably play for that one. Jalen Watson, the cornerback, is doubtful for next week. I think he really messed up his ankle. I don't know for sure. Who are the Chiefs playing in Week 9? The Bucs on Monday Night Football, so that was exactly what I was thinking about. All right. Texans have a million guys injured, but it's really not that big of a deal because none of them are really that bad. Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles. I'm just gonna go through this now. I really don't want to talk about it during the game recap. You can't really again. It's very touchy subject again with this guy, but again, this is so tough to say. But I don't think, again, even with how bad Deshaun Watson played, again, I understand why the Browns fans would boo for him after considering how bad he's played this year. But you can't boo an injured player. Like, you just can't. It's like it's not treating someone humanely, to be honest with you guys. It's just not right. Again, Deshaun Watson might be the crappiest person on the planet for all we know, but again, you just can't do that. So that's what I got to say on that. Again, I understand why the Browns fans did it, but at the same time, like, it's tough season, I get it, but you just can't do that. Again, even with a guy like him. Outside of that, though, nothing really crazy happened in terms of injuries. That's with that said, again, that's really all I got here. So with that said, again, that was your Week 7 injury reports. Let's get into today's games.
Week 7 on Sunday gets an early start as the NFL wraps up its 3-week stay in London. They are going to visit one of the true crown jewels
Zone target.
May swings it out. That's Jermichael Hasty making a cut inside the 10, inside the 5, and he has a touchdown. Lawrence looking to the middle, and he's got Thomas for the touchdown.
Not function properly because they're just making too many critical mistakes, which is what you wouldn't expect.
Lawrence going deep for his rookie Thomas. He's got it inside. He drops. It's Bigsby again. He's rolling over defenders and gets it down to the goal line. It is Bigsby again, and he gets into the end zone. Has to retreat all the way inside his 5, and he catches it. Washington is going to go all the way for a touchdown. Here, Bigsby in the backfield. They're going to give it to the big fella, and it looks like he is not going to get
throw. As long as you throw it high, Hunter Henry coming down with it. Another one down the sideline.
That's right, Kayshon Boutte.
Yeah, you got to drive coming. I think you really got to, when you get down there, go for touchdowns.
Well, there's your touchdown.
Go for touchdowns.
KJ out. It's 4th and 26.
Yep, they need a penalty.
Here's May. Big pressure, steps up, throws it deep down the middle of the field, and kicked it.
So if you wanted to keep hope alive, you had to have this one.
Water down the eyes, Niagara Falls. Got too many numbers.
And the Jaguars finish out their, of course, 2-game London hiatus from the Americas, and saving Doug Peterson's job with, of course, a 32-16 pretty dominant win over the Patriots. Obviously, they went down 10-0 early, scored 25 unanswered, and that led them to the pretty convincing win. Of course, they now moved to 2-5. Again, bouncing back from that win, loss against the Bears last week. They will be playing against the Packers at home next week, so that'll be a very tough game for them, again, especially on basically a short week, considering how much they have to with leaving London. Patriots on their hand, they're awful. They have the longest losing streak in football at 6 straight games. And yeah, they weren't good in this one. And yeah, they're playing against the Jets at home. So I don't know. That game could be interesting. But obviously they're not very good. Drake May, with all he said, was really good. 26 of 37, 276 touchdowns. Yeah, this is kind of window dressing stats overall, considering they didn't really do much in the really in the second quarter, most of the second quarter, even in the third quarter as well. But he didn't turn over the football. He was pretty confident throwing it downfield, navigated the pocket pretty well. But overall, when it comes down to it, they had absolutely no run game. The O-line completely sucked. Again, they got penetrated most of the time. I will say the tackles did do at least somewhat of a decent job. Again, DeMontre Jacobs, the rookie, actually did a decent job sustaining blocks. But when it came down to Drake May, had to do a lot and creating a lot for himself. He didn't do too bad of a job, but again, it still wasn't the craziest game. But hey, solid start to his career so far, even again, they got blown out in this first two games. Hunter Henry led him receiving. He was a very good check and viable option underneath for him. Again, 8 catches, 92 yards. JaMycal Hasty also caught a touchdown. Kayshon Boutte obviously had a pretty catch for 33 yards. Austin Hooper also made some plays. KJ Osborne had their lone touchdown. This other lone touchdown. Whatever, though. Yeah, that's the Patriots' offense. They weren't very good. Defensively, though, Kyle Duggar, I guess, was okay. He had 11 tackles. Problem with this Patriots defense, to be honest with you guys, again, as Gerard and I honestly said, they're just not really that tough. And they also kind of give us some big plays downfield. And when you have that combination, it's kind of hard for things to really, again, iron out there. As well as the fact that, again, they couldn't get any pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Kind of a mess of a day for them overall. One of the worst performances I've seen from them the past 2 weeks, again, and really in a while, obviously. They only get 41 points in what is called Bill Belichick twice, something like that. And yeah, it didn't look like good in this one at all. Joey Slye at least hit a field goal for them. For the Jaguars, though, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I guess, was okay. 15 of 20, 193 touchdown. He didn't have to do it to a whole lot. Again, he threw a lot to Brian Thomas Jr., who looks to be an emerging star. Obviously, they have a 50-plus yard catch on a bomb from Trevor Lawrence, as well as a touchdown. He looked really good in this one. Evan Ingram also caught some passes underneath. Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis were basically no-shows. But again, the fact that Tanks Bigsby, who, again, I thought, again, back in 2022 with Auburn, he was a freaking beast, and he just showed it again in this one, I guess. 118 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns in his first, real volume game of the year. He looks to be taking over the number one role because, again, he's breaking tackles left and right. He's a literal big tank. So when you have a guy like that, a running back, got to get him the football. Also did some stuff as a receiver. Didn't have a target, but, again, he was at least, running routes and stuff. I like to see him grow there. Jonas Johnson was a decent backup as well. They got these running backs in space and really paid off for it as well. For this defense, Devin Lloyd led them in tackles with 11, also had a sack. Again, the secondary was pretty bad. Again, they just aren't very good. Darnell Savage is just not really anything more than maybe a dime look, to be honest with you guys. Outside that, though, Honor Cisco, I think, looked pretty good. Tyson Campbell's a little bit rusty, of course, in his, in return from injury. Eric Armstead got some pretty consistent pressure. Outside of that, though, again, Trayvon Walker had a nice sack. Again, Devin Lloyd also had a sack on a blitz, but it wasn't, again, the most fantastic game in terms of these pass rushers. Ventrell Miller also had 9 tackles. He was really good overall. Again, this is a run defender. He's not really much of a cover guy at all. But when it comes down to that, Jags defense did enough to win this one. That's really okay there. Team stats-wise, the Jags outgained it by a pretty good bit. Obviously, were a pretty good amount more efficient. Obviously, the ball longer, too. No turnovers, only 6 combined punts isn't too bad. Again, this was actually a pretty entertaining game considering, again, it was a tank bowl. So, I mean, the Jaguars fans, Jags gets your breathing, but, at the same time, I mean, you got a pretty tough next 5 games coming up. So, unless you right the ship, could be a long rest of the year for you guys. That's all I got for you guys here, though. Let's get into our 1 o'clock games.
Coaches Sean McDermott and Brian Callahan with a pregame handshake as we pull the motion man. Play fake. Rudolph has time. Now Rudolph throws on the run and it's caught for a touchdown. Here on 2nd and 4, Allen with time now throws wide open. Keon Coleman at the 35. Coleman at the 20. Cook got first down up the middle at the 5. Cook takes it in. Touchdown Buffalo. Rudolph dropped the snap. Ball is loose. Bills indicating they have it. No official signal yet. And they do. Hopkins goes in motion on 1st down and 10. Rudolph. Pressure's coming. Rudolph doesn't see it. He lost the football. It's still loose. 4th down and 2. They're going for it. Pollard is stuffed. Smoot snuffs it out. 2nd down and 10. Allen looking for Cooper. Touchdown! His first catch as a Bill. Shakir in motion. Allen over the middle and it's caught for a touchdown. Ty Johnson. Jones a sack on that play and now it's 3rd down and 4. Rudolph with time and it is intercepted. DeMar Hamlin. Allen quick pass. Keon Coleman and he's still on his feet. Coleman
Davis gets the handoff. Davis slips a tackle at the 10. Davis at the 5. Davis, touchdown!
They're going build a house for me. I'ma need an extra.
And after the Titans led at halftime for like the 4th time or something like that this year, again, that's been the narrative for this team. They blow it and get shut out, and then get boat raced by the Bills in the second half. And of course, the Bills are on their way to a blowout, comfortable victory. I guess that's the way they put it. I was a little nervous because, I mean, I really didn't want to get that pick right. That was like, again, people who somehow still have that Eliminator Challenge show going, considering how many upsets there have been with those lines this year. This is obviously the game that would have been picked for that. Either way, though, again, the Titans, I think, again, last year they blew an NFL high 5 games. Again, I was reading that on ESPN.com. Got to give credit for that. But I think they already had like 4 blown leads at halftime. It's really bad. But obviously, they're 1-5 now in the season. They have lost, but it's back-to-back games. Whatever, though. Mason Rudolph started this one. He was out there, I guess. It was pretty accurate overall, but the downfield passing game was just really non-existent. And the fact that, again, no one really was breaking tackles, really doing anything, anything, really put this offense at a disadvantage, obviously, after that Bills defense kind of got acclimated. Outside of that, though, I mean, again, Will Levis starting makes this offense a lot more, a team like really relevant. But outside of that, again, it's not even relevant. They're a relevant team. But they're now 1-5, and they'll be 1-6 because they're going to Detroit next week, unless they pull off some crazy comeback or something like that. Bills are now 5-2, and will be taking on the. Who are they playing next week? Oh, they're going to Seattle. That'll be an interesting one. That's a pretty far flight for them. And that should be an interesting one. Outside of that, though, Tony Pollard, 16 carries, 61 yards, 3.8 yards per carry. He was kind of mediocre overall. He had to break a lot of tackles, though. This O-line really struggled overall in this one. Chiz Alcaga was really the only guy breaking any tackles, but outside of that, really didn't do too much. Tyler Boyd, I guess he did something. Calvin really finally had some catches. Again, a touchdown from Nick Westbrook. DeAndre Hopkins, -2 receiving yards. Yeah, that's not going to look good for fantasy owners. Got negative points. No, I think he had positive, something like that. I think it's like 0.8. Maybe that's the right stats there. Either way, though, for this defense, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., I think he's a cornerback, if I'm not mistaken. He led them in tackles. I don't know. They kind of were just doing their own thing, I guess. Arden Key had a nice sack in the opening quarter. Outside of that, though, the interior penetration was not good. The run defense also wasn't good. Quandre Diggs was really the only guy making any sort of adjustments in terms of his own coverage looks in the secondary. Ernest Jones was okay, though. Overall, this defense just didn't really play together, and that's really, again, the reason they gave 27 points in the second half. For the Bills, Josh Allen turned into MVP. Josh Allen in the second half after a really shaky first half. I thought he was going to throw his first pick of the year. Oh, yeah, by the way, only quarterback left in the NFL to not throw an interception. Obviously, 12 touchdowns and something like that. No, more than that now. But obviously, no interceptions so far in the year. It'd be cool if he could keep that going. Probably not, though, because it's Josh Allen. But still, he's been fantastic this year, and he's still not the favorite for MVP, which we will get to later in the video. Ozzie Davis, 5 runs. I thought he was going to be out for this one. I guess not. He had a touchdown, though. James Cook, not really efficient, but he did get in the end zone. Keon Coleman had, kind of a breakup game. He had like one big catch and run play, but overall, it's pretty productive. 4 for 125. 31.2 yards per catch is crazy. I guarantee he'll be top 5 in the league in that category, and if he doesn't start becoming a volume guy. Of course, again, I didn't show this in the course at the beginning, but Keon Coleman got Amari Cooper a touchdown, basically told him what the hell you're supposed to run. He did catch a touchdown, of course, in his Bills debut. Khalil Carroll, 7 for 65. Touchdown from Dawson Knox. Yeah, I think that was. No, Ty Johnson, my bad. Defensively, they were all good. I don't really want to talk about this defense. I mean, everyone played well. Schematically, they looked great. Damar Hamlin had a sack. I know, interception. Good for him. Second of his career, obviously, and second this year. Christian Benford's the number 1 corner, top 5 guy in the league, I think, so far this year, in my opinion. They got a lot of pressure, getting a lot of simulated stuff. Tyler Bass also had 2 field goals. I mean, just overall, they were really good. 400 total yards for the Bills. Again, they didn't actually control possession, which is a little weird. 2 turnovers, though, from Titans didn't really help them out. Again, they were a little better on third down than the Bills, and yeah, they get just not really efficient at all compared to them, though. 7.2 to 4.3. I think the yards I think the yards to go for the Titans on third down was a lot better, though, if I'm not mistaken. As we'll get on film, they were really actually pretty efficient on third down, again, when it comes to setting up for a good third down. So, really conservative approach from the Titans just doesn't really work, as the Bills just basically say, we're a better team, and they take care of it. Now, let's get to the Deshaun Watson game.
Boy, how's that for a sight for sore eyes for Cleveland Browns fans? Nick Chubb is back, ready to strap it on. Cleveland. And we're off and running here in Cleveland. Charlie Jones going to
play it, but a half step inside his own end zone, and he's got a seam. Jones, Hopkins, unable to beat him.
Jones, one man to beat him, and he is in. Shallow drop, Burrow buried. Football came out. Second straight possession for the Browns that begins inside their 10. Watson in trouble. Boy, Watson doing a dance, somehow escapes and completes.
You got to try and let Chubb take this in.
Remember, the Browns get it to start the second half. Pitch play. Chubb, in. Touchdown. Week 2 of last season in that Monday nighter against Pittsburgh. Would he ever get back to Pittsburgh Steelers, one of his 3 starts last season? And here is DTR. Boy, he sold that fake well, and he's off to the races. Would have been a 53-yard attempt. Instead, Thompson Robinson low and incomplete. As they try to get their ground game going. Burrow to the end zone. Back shoulder to Chase.
Plays together without going backwards.
Thompson Robinson's pass deflected high in the air, dangerous, and it is picked.
When it's there and the opportunity's there, he always seems to hit the big ball when he needs to.
3rd down, quick cross. Higgins sprung free. His pass over the middle, and that is picked. Intercepted. It's Geno Stone. Defensive Player of the Year. Here's McPherson, 50-yard kick, and this is going to sail.
Jameis Winston has nowhere to go.
Winston high, back of the end zone. It is caught, touchdown.
If you gotta walk with just a ride for me.
And the Bengals win back-to-back game, taking advantage of a Browns team that is probably going to have an interesting rest of the season. Of course, no, they won't. Yeah, 21-14 was the final score. Obviously, again, I talked about the injury report. I'm not going to give you like a full rundown with Deshaun Watson. Kind of already did. But again, I guess we'll give like his on-field play analysis, I guess. But outside that, again, he tore his Achilles. Again, for a Browns season that's already lost, it's really lost now. Of course, they have now lost 5 in a row, and they are now, again, still the only team in the NFL to not score 20 points. This offense has been almost as bad as Oklahoma's and Michigan's, but I don't know. They've been worse than that, to be honest with you guys. But for the Bengals, of course, they got a huge game against Philly next week, and that game will probably be in front of the whole country at 1 o'clock. But yeah, that game should be really, really good. Joe Burrow didn't really have to do too much in this game. He was a little bit inaccurate. I'll say this: Browns defense played really well overall. But the fact, again, Joe Burrow was able to make some pretty good plays. Again, in critical situations, put this team over the top. The running game was really bad, just kind of non-existent. Again, Zach Moss really couldn't get anything going. Chase Brown got a lot more of the carries towards the end of the game. T. Higgins obviously had a really nice touchdown, as well as Jamar Chase in that back shoulder play. But outside of that, again, they really weren't that great overall. Again, no one really stepped up either outside of those 2 guys, again, their 2-star receivers. O-line-wise, I think they held up actually pretty well. Again, they hit some sacks, but again, it wasn't that bad overall. For this defense, though, Jermaine Pratt, 13 total tackles. He was a menace against the run. Logan Wilson was very good in coverage, as well as the fact he was very good, good at containing open space. Cam Taylor-Britt had by far his best game of the season. Mike Hilton was also very good in the slot. Geno Stone, of course, had the interception, as well as 7 tackles. And to be completely honest with you guys, this secondary had like a feasting party in the second half, considering how many bad plays and how lost DTR looked. Of course, that being Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Trey Henderson looked like his normal self at 2 sacks. Sam Hubbard had a pretty darn good game, putting himself up for maybe the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. 3 tackles, a sack, and an interception. I think it's just NFL. I don't even know. Whatever. Sheldon Rankins said 3 tackles and a sack as well. Overall, though, for this defense, they played really well. Ivan McPherson, of course, bricked the field goal. For the Browns, Deshaun Watson had by far his best game of the season to start. Of course, extremely accurate, 15 of 17 for 128. But then, of course, the injury happened, so he's out for the rest of the year. And yeah, we'll get more into him in, of course, the offseason. DTR was atrocious as usual. Jameis Winston, I think, will actually have a pretty funny year. Again, if you're a Browns fan, the silver lining is you're going to watch Jameis Winston throw 5 touchdowns and 5 picks in every game. And your offense is going to score points too. So, yeah, Jameis Winston should be really fun to watch this year, the rest of the year. Running game, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, of course, in that one wide quarterback zone read there, had one really big run. Outside of that, though, Nick Chubb looked really rusty in his debut. But again, he really didn't have any sort of chance there. He did score a touchdown, though, so that's good. So, I hope Nick Chubb doesn't get injured, and I hope he's back to his normal form in the next couple weeks. But I'm not really going to judge him off this year, to be honest with you guys. He's also older, too, so we could have seen the best in Nick Chubb already. I'm just going to tell you that, guys, right now. Cedric Tillman looks like a guy who could be pretty good. 8 for 81. I wouldn't be surprised if he hits, I don't even know, maybe 900 yards this year. That would be pretty cool. David Njoku needs to get traded. He did score a touchdown, though. Of course, their lone touchdown. Jerry Jeudy is awful. Elijah Morgan is just kind of like the fourth string slot receiver, but he was decent in this one. Jordan Akins also had a couple catches. For this defense, though, they are the best defense in the worst situation in football. Of course, Jim Schwartz, they have regressed overall. That's just because of how bad this offense has been. Marcus Emerson Jr., Grant Delpit, Denzel Ward, and Greg Newsome are among one of the best secondary groups I honestly have seen in the past 5 years, to be honest with you guys. They're legit. I'll say this, though. Myles Garrett just isn't the guy we saw last year, to be honest with you guys. He's still obviously very, very good, or just honestly elite, but he just just doesn't look the same, to be honest with you guys. Did okay. He was pretty good, but honestly, yeah, I don't know. This defense was really good overall. Best game I think we've seen from them in a minute, considering, again, they kind of like fallen off the past couple weeks. Dustin Hopkins still got me negative points with fantasy. Thank God for the Steelers defense, that is. But obviously, yeah, the Browns are in a rough spot. They'll also be playing next week, too. I think they're playing the Ravens. That game will be interesting now. They're going to get their absolute butts kicked. Hey, maybe Famous James could do something. 2 picks, obviously, from the Steelers. Oh, yeah, also the Bengals get their first win in Cleveland. Kind of a skewed win, but they still got the win for their first time since, 2017. So that's good. 8 of 19 over the Browns on 3rd down. Again, they now have 2.5% chance to make the playoffs, which they absolutely won't be attending this year. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Now let's get to a game that was really boring, but hey, it still was close at the end.
The Indianapolis Colts are back home at Lucas Oil Stadium for an AFC showdown with the Miami Dolphins. Anthony Richardson back at the helm. And now 3rd and goal. Huntley checks it short. Jonnu Smith through the 5 and into the end zone. Oh, what he's going to do. 2nd and goal. Fumble on the exchange. The ball pinballing around on the turf. Helmets flying. Miami football. Presence around the globe. Of course, we saw football in London earlier today. Jaguars got the win. As the ball pops out at the end of the run and it's recovered by the Colts.
Dial up some kind of zone read play.
It's Goodson into the end zone for his first NFL touchdown. 1st down and 10. The handoff to the fullback, Alec Ingold. He's got 11 yards rushing, but the ball pops out at the end of the play. The ball 22-yard try. Matt Gay, and for the first time today, field goal try to tie. High snap, it's pulled down. The kick by Sanders on the way, and it's off the upright shot. Boyle going to the sideline. That is incomplete, and Indianapolis is going to hang on and move above 500.
In your purse, you making me nervous. St. Laurent done fresher than the.
And the Colts are able to survive, and obviously they are able to, get over 500 before they hit a really, honestly, a murderer's row of game. But hey, they're somehow still over 4-3. Of course, they have now won 4 of the last 5 games. Only game in that stretch being a loss was against the Jaguars, where, of course, yeah, that game was crazy. But still, they're obviously sitting at 4-3 now, which is obviously the opposite record they had last year. But honestly, they got a rough road ahead. Of course, they will be heading to Houston last week, looking to avoid next week. My bad. Of course, looking to avoid the sweep. But either way, in this one, offensively, they were out there, I guess. They were really bad, honestly, in this one. But their defense stepped up, and yeah, that I don't even know. The Dolphins are just a rough team, honestly, guys. Again, speaking of the Dolphins, obviously 2-4 now in the season. They've lost, what is it, back-to-back? No, they lost. They won before their bye. Whatever. They are, they're not completely out of it yet, which obviously leaves the door open, of course, with Tua coming back next week, which they need more than I think any other team needs anything in the NFL right now, to be honest with you guys. They need Tua back that bad. He is on the journey to be able, he has, the potential to play next week against the Cardinals, which would be obviously, great, but, I mean, honestly, again, just him being, 100%, with the head is all that matters right now, so I hope he comes back, but I wouldn't be mad again if he missed 1 week, obviously, or, disappointed by any means. But, yeah, they're playing the Cardinals next week at home. Tim Boyle, I mean, he's the one, again, the biggest mystery in football history. How does a guy who, was a backup, 3rd-string quarterback in college putting awful numbers, how the hell does he get in the NFL? And even when he gets into the NFL, he sucks. How is he still around? I really just don't get it. He was mediocre in high school. What the heck? I mean, he's got a pretty big arm, but that's really about it. And even then, that's not even true. He's just so bad. This guy should not be in the NFL. He forgot how many downs there were. What the hell? Tyler Huntley, though, did throw a touchdown. Again, he looked pretty okay, I guess, before the injury. But, still, he's not that good at all. He's kind of trash, to be honest with you guys. Again, they're so bad at a quarterback. They need Tua back really badly. Devon Achane looked really good. Again, with the guardian cap, it looks really weird, but that's just my opinion there. Reed Mostert, again, overall, they would come on for a very solid game. Jalen Wright also got some carries as well. Again, they look very diverse at running back, which is good. Jonnu Smith was very good, 7 for 96 touchdowns. He was really the only guy that was getting thrown to. Tyreek Hill, again, without Tua, it just doesn't work, to be honest with you guys. He got 2 targets in this game, which is just completely ridiculous. But Jalen Waddle obviously did have 1 catch. Again, the passing game is non-existent without Tua. Just that's the simplest truth. Again, if you're a Dolphins fan, you can talk all you guys want about, again, Tua sucked, but again, in terms of on the field. But if you don't have Tua, your team literally has 0 chance of doing anything in any game. It's just simple as that. Speaking of that, this defense is very, very good. Jordan Poyer was very good again, as well as Fuller again. Jalen Ramsey had his best game we've seen from him all year. He had 4 tackles as well in this game. Overall, though, for the Steelers, they were very disciplined. Didn't get a sack, but they got some pretty consistent pressure, as well as the fact that, again, in the interior, they at least fought up front, which is what we didn't see against the Patriots, so that was really good. But overall, they're taking some steps on defense, and that's really what you want to see there. Jason Sanders obviously missed field goal, was a big part in them losing this one as well. For the Colts, Anthony Richardson couldn't hit the broads of a barn for another straight week, but hey, Big Tony ran the ball. Not efficiently, but he ran the ball at least. So, yeah, Anthony Richardson's a roller coaster. You're never really going to know you're going to get him. But again, Big Tony will do his own thing, and yeah, you just kind of got to accept it. Touchdown for Tyler Goodson was decent. They didn't really run the ball efficiently, though. O-line was kind of all over the place. Michael Pittman Jr. did have 3 catches for 63 yards to lead them. But overall, this offense kind of had a bad day, and yeah, they shouldn't have won this one. But they did. Grant Stewart had 18 tackles. That is a boatload. He was their entire run defense, but to be honest with you guys, he needs to get the starting job for the rest of the year. I think he's definitely locked it up. Zaire Franklin also had 16 tackles. They relied on those guys a lot to make plays in open field, as well as both safeties. I'll say this. The up front, they really weren't that effective, but they did get some decent pressure, so I'll give them that. But overall, again, when it came down to it, both safeties were basically playing the box the entire game, and both linebackers just, again, stopped the run the entire game. Wasn't much pass coverage going on there. Team stats, not really want to talk about it, because, I mean, again, 2 fumbles by the Dolphins were crucial as well. They just played a sloppy brand of football in a game that was absolutely winnable for them, and now they have to probably win a couple games and beat some pretty good teams if they want to, come back this season. Maybe even right the ship. But still, the Colts, obviously, they're able to get on top in this one. Not a very fun game to watch, but let's get to a game that was even more brutal. I mean, at least for one team. But hey, Saquon's at least satisfied.
It's the return of Saquon Barkley. Once the face of the Giants, now a force for the Eagles. Today against his former team. On 10, extra rush, and Hurts is going to go down. Sacked. They need 3 for a first. He's in trouble, and he's going to go down again. Gainwell, the back. Hurts, it's already been sacked twice. He needs room to heave this thing if he can. And he's going down. So Steen is out there. And Barkley turns the corner. And there he goes. Barkley has it. In a crowd, they're going to push. And he is in for a touchdown. Hurts for A.J. Brown. He's got it. He's in. All the way for an Eagle touchdown. On 4th down from the opening kick, it seemed. And Joseph, he better make this one with all that blue back there he does. Oh, baby. Straight ahead. Big hole for Barkley. There he goes. Hurts the push. There it is. And touchdown Eagles. Division against your guys. God. And there goes Barkley. He's already had 2 big runs. Let's tack on another one. And he's dragging Giants with him. Hurts forward. And nothing yet. Yes.
Like the precinct. How you go from housewife to a sneaky link.
And Saquon gets his revenge with the Eagles' blowout win over the New York Giants. Obviously, Big Bro beating Little Bro as they win their second straight off the bye and now have a very big game in Cincinnati next week. But didn't look over the Giants, of course, with this pretty big win overall. Giants dropped to 2-5 and are probably going to be 2-6, but I don't even know who the heck they're playing next week. Oh, they're going to Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. That'll be rough. That game's going to be really bad. Jalen Hurts didn't have to do much at all. He did throw a touchdown, though. Saquon obviously being the story. He broke 3 runs of 35 or more yards off. Obviously, the headliner was that 41-yarder to break him out of course, like the 10-yard line. He also scored, obviously, a touchdown, average over 10 yards per carry. Saquon, again, one of his best games of his career against the Giants squad that just basically sucked the entire soul out of him. Kenneth Gainwell was also pretty solid. Jalen Hurts obviously had 2 push touchdowns as well. A.J. Brown, of course, the 41-yard headline touchdown for them. Outside of that, no one really had to do anything. Devontae Smith, fantasy owners, what happened, guys? For this defense, though, again, offensively, the O-line dominated again. They just ran the ball, and that's how it went, and that's really all they had to do. Also, this, though, Eagles' O-line was not good against that Giants pass rush. I think it was just more the Giants pass rush doing their own thing, though. Alright, for this defense, though, N'Kobe Dean 11 tackles, 2 sacks. He looks like he could be in what is called effective blitzer. I'm not going to say he is because he had a couple, I think one of them was a coverage sack. They got like 8 sacks, guys. They dominated up front. The secondary didn't really have to do anything at all. That's really all I got for you guys in this one. Yeah, they dominated up front. That's really all you need to know. Yeah, the Giants' offensive line, again, that's a takeaway for the Giants, is probably the worst in football right now, to be honest with you guys. Because, again, without Andrew Thomas, there's just a bunch of backups out there, and that's not going to really get you far. Daniel Jones was atrocious. I don't even know. What is 99 divided by 21? I think, honestly, guys, with all that sacks, I think adjusted net yards per attempt in this game was negative. It was really rough. They didn't run the ball well. No one really did anything as a receiver. Defensively, they got a lot of pressure. I'll give them that. But again, the secondary just really isn't competitive enough in terms of those corners on the outside really being able to win consistently. Tyler Nubin looks like he can be a very good player, though. Deontay Banks, again, he was okay, I guess. Trey Hawkins is not a starting caliber player. And outside of that, though, I mean, like the defense, like, what are you going to do when your offense doesn't move the football at all? Greg Joseph at least hit a field goal for getting the Giants only points. Team stats, though. Yeah, the Eagles, the Giants had 119 total yards of offense, guys. Like, what do you expect? 2.2 yards per play, just putrid. The Eagles controlled the ball for like 2/3 of the game. I'm not really going to have much of a takeaway here. Saquon dominated. The Giants had 119 total yards of offense. Giants O-line sucks. Eagles O-line, I don't know. They gave up, what was it, 5 sacks, 13 combined sacks in this game, a lot of punts, a lot of just crappy football, to be honest with you guys. That is all I got for you guys in this one, though. Let's get to an actual interesting game. Of course, not really, I don't even know. Let's get down to the game in Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta. Kirk Cousins and the Falcons getting set to host Geno Smith and the Seahawks. Also hit from 52 to send the Tampa game to overtime. Coup from 54.
Foul offense to the Seattle Seahawks.
There's Walker, first down inside the 10, the 5, to the end zone on his birthday. There's Robinson, and he picks up the first down and is into the end zone for a touchdown. From the 30, Smith and Jigwell looking to throw. He fires downfield. And what a catch! All right, here we go on 3rd down. Smith steps up, takes that shot to the end zone. It is Metcalf.
He's been hoping it's Falcons offense.
4th down and 1. Cousins throws. Touchdown. Drake London. On 1st down, Smith lobs one up for Walker, who dives, makes the catch. 3rd down and 9. Cousins looking, hit. Ball comes loose. Seahawks recover. And it's taken all the way back. 1st and 10. Cousins intercepted. It was intended for London, and it is picked off.
He loved that arrow.
Pass is picked off. Kobe Bryant.
Come back to me.
And the Seahawks have a big second half on their way to a blowout win over the Falcons. Of course, snapping that 3-game losing streak and are now in a pretty decent position. Obviously, they seem to be every single year. But either way, they really showed up in this one. Falcons, of course, did not. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys there. Seahawks obviously moved to 4-3. Again, big bounce-back win. And, yeah, they'll be going against the Bills next week. And then the Rams after that, back-to-back home games. I think they might have 3 straight, but definitely back-to-back. Falcons, in their hand, fall to 4-3. They got a huge division game into Tampa. They didn't win that one last year. No, they did win that one last year. My bad. So, that'll be interesting to see there. Of course, they just played back in week 5 on Thursday Night Football, of course. So, again, we'll see how that dynamic works out there. Geno Smith, 18-28, 207, 2 touchdowns. First multi-passing touchdown game of his season. And he also was very effective overall. Of course, JSN threw a very crazy pass to DK Metcalf for a big gain. We'll get to him in a second. K9 was very, very good. Best game of his season, in my opinion, so far. He had, of course, scored a touchdown. 69 yards. Nice. DK Metcalf, 4 for 99, a touchdown. Again, the touchdown was very pretty. The injury was not. The other catch was really pretty. Again, that injury still isn't. So, that would be nice if he could get back on the field. But again, I'm not going to really push anything there. Because, honestly, I hope he... Nah, never mind. Whatever. We'll take care of that later. Tyler Lockett and Noah Fant both caught some passes. Of course, K9 had the other receiving touchdown. That was a great play in the end zone by him for that diving touchdown or something like that. But as this, Seahawks have enjoyed a very big bounce back win in this one. So, yeah. good for you guys. Obviously, the O-line looked a lot better as well. For this defense, Kobe Bryant, of course, with 11 tackles and the interception. Julian Love also had a pick and 9 tackles. They were very, very good in their zones. Mike McDonald really frustrated Kirk Cousins like a ton in this one. And I think that really helped contribute to them being able to, again, force some errant passes from Kirk, as well as the fact that, again, they got a lot of consistent pressure from their best passers, to be honest with you guys. Again, their guys are paying money to really be able to do that, and they were able to do that in this one. As well as the fact that, again, linebackers like Tyler Johnson were very, very good at covering that middle of the field, as well as wrapping up in those open field moments as well. Outside of that, though, Derek Hall, obviously, with the scoop and score, 64-yarder, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Really helped them get of course, to clinch this one as well. Or it might have been a 44-yarder. Jason Myers, obviously, had 2 field goals for the Falcons. Kirk Cousins was not good. He did throw a touchdown, at least, but, like, yeah, again, 2 picks were really bad. Also fumbled the football. Kind of probably his worst game of the year so far. Bijan, really solid game, which, again, is probably, again, like that silver lining, if you could call it that in this one. Again, if he could get him and Tyler Algier consistently getting carries, this offense, again, will be a lot better than what we saw this week. Kyle Pitts got targeted a lot. Wasn't really that great, but he still, again, had a pretty productive game overall, game for his standards. Drake London was okay, 6 for 63 and a touchdown. It wasn't that he wasn't getting open. It was just, again, him and Kirk Cousins just really were on the same page in this one. Darnell Mooney was pretty good overall, too. I think they actually might even need to trade for someone. Again, get someone in here, again, can kind of ruffle things up, because when it comes down to it, they don't really have an effective third receiver who can, again, consistently play in the slot, and when that happens, it's kind of hard for this offense to really function, again, consistently, but still, that's just, again, a suggestion for them. Again, we'll see what they do with that. Defensively, they weren't that good. James Smith-Williams had their only sack. They need a pass rusher really bad. Matt Judon just really hasn't been honestly awful this year, to be honest with you guys. The interior isn't really penetrating either. Linebackers have been pretty decent with tackling, but the secondary really just hasn't been like consistent at all. Again, at least from what we saw this week. Kua missed a field goal as well, but overall, again, the Falcons defense just didn't really play well at all in this one. They did outgain them in yards, though. Again, yards per play, of course, with the Seahawks. Neither team was really that efficient. Again, the Falcons pretty good on third down. Again, they had to put themselves in good situations there. But it came down to, again, having 3 turnovers to the Seahawks, none, I think, really was the difference in this one. Yeah, they lost by 20. Again, that's still a big blowout. But to be honest with you guys, that's really, honestly, I think the reason they lost by as much as they did. But that's all I got for you guys in this one. Let's get to, obviously, the game, national game at 1 o'clock for Fox, and oh boy, it was a dandy in the NFC North.
And a matchup of the last 2 NFC North champions battling for first in the top division in football. A couple of heavy hitters in Week 7.
Keep putting the ball in the air downfield.
Off he goes, Aaron Jones, and what a lightning strike for the Vikings. Second and long situations for this Flores defense. It is going to be a fake out of the gate. Jalen Reed's and Minnesota was not full. Out for one of the longest field goals of his NFL career. And Will Reichard is 27 for 27. Brock Wright lined up as the fullback. Off the right, here's Gibbs. Good run, best run, good move. There he goes, needs a block. He's in. And who comes? They bring 6, they drop 1. Launching Goff over the top for St. Brown. And Detroit, after trailing by 10, has taken the lead. Fake it to Jones, off the play action. Darnold's got time. Underthrown ball, looking for Addison. And what a play by Brian Brink. And it's a run for Gibbs against the pressure, and he bangs it in for a touchdown. His second of the day. Third and long for Darnold, taking a shot for Jackson. 4 on the rush. Goff underneath. He's got a man and a first down to Raymond. He gets away from a defender and scores. Off play action to Jones. Stepping up. Deep shot. It is Addison.
Things for this defense.
This time Montgomery might have grabbed him. That ball is out. Picked up by Pace. Down the sideline. Darnold looking left. Throwing there. Incomplete. For the lead. Bates has delivered. Detroit is on top. Detroit brings an extra body. And they get to Darnold to take over first place.
And the Lions claim reign over the NFC North, of course, handing the Vikings their first loss of the season with a 31-29 thriller of a victory. This game had a lot of twists and turns, obviously led by a 21-point second quarter from the Lions. But nonetheless, the Lions obviously moved to 5-1 with their 4th straight win, and obviously a pretty winnable game next week on top against the Titans. I think they have a big Thursday night, I think that's America's game the week after that against the Packers. But nonetheless, the Vikings on the other hand fall to 5-1. They got a short week out in LA on the road, so that game could be very interesting to be honest with you guys. But that is for Thursday and not for tonight, so I'm just going to say that right now. But yeah, they lose their first game of the season. Again, they started 2016 5-0 and lost their first game this week as well. But again, hey, it's one game, so you're not really too stressed over it. But still, there was a lot of things they could have done better. Jared Goff was very, very good. Again, 22 of 25, 282 touchdowns. I mean, he's just insanely accurate right now. David Montgomery, really was bad, to be honest with you guys. Again, had the big fumble that, again, was a scoop and score that really, again, resulted in that touchdown, though, for the, obviously, the go-ahead touchdown for the Vikings, as well as the fact that, again, he did kind of carry with 3 for 39 to help with the fantasy game there. Jahmyr Gibbs was fantastic, 15 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, of course, the 45-yarder to boot. So, he had one of his best games of his career. Also had 4 catches for 44 yards for 160-yard scrimmage game, damn. Amon-Ra, it looked like his normal stuff, 8 for 112 and a touchdown, obviously a 35-yard beauty. That looked like the, again, normal offense you're used to seeing. Jameson Williams was basically non-existent, 1 catch for -4 yards. Sam Laporta really hasn't done much this year. Tim Patrick seems like a guy that can get the football too. Alex Cleveland, really nice catch and run touchdown as well to put them ahead at that point in the game. Lions offensively looked really diverse, normal type of offense for them overall. The one thing I'd like to say, though, is they cannot rely on those big Jahmyr Gibbs plays, as well as the O-line always creating that big gaping holes all the time. They will need guys like, I don't even know, maybe David Montgomery to step up. But again, for an off week by him, this offense played really well. Also neutralized that Brian Flores pass rush really, really well. Defensively, Alexander Lindsey made some mistakes in coverage. Again, they blitzed like, I don't even know, it was like 65% of the time. It was ridiculous. It wasn't that high. It was like, whatever. It's a lot higher than what you're used to seeing from them, of course, compensating for Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, the lowest pass rush winner, again, collectively as a team for them on the season. That's not what I was saying much more on film, to be honest with you guys. Again, but when you blitz a lot, again, there are disadvantages, and you saw it in this one. Again, the coverage was much worse. They gave a lot more yards per attempt. Obviously, left guys open as well, so that wasn't great. Also, some miscommunications against the run as well. But overall, this defense was able to figure it out. Brian Bance, obviously, with a really good interception. It would be nice to see guys like, I don't know, maybe Terry Arnold take a step, as well as Carlton Davis. Not really him taking a step, but just being the guy you expect to see. And those guys being able to play really well in the boundary and man coverage. If they can get that out of them, as well as Amik Robertson, this secondary could really help out against a defensive line that's not really going to generate too much pressure, again, with one-on-one moves like that. Jake Bates obviously had a field goal as well, of course, the game winner with that one. Sam Darnold was shaky overall. Didn't miss many passes, but I just don't think he was, again, the most confident, again, his receivers overall, as well as the O-line. He did throw a touchdown, though. Of course, the interception was not really that bad at all, honestly. But he showed, again, he was still really solid, obviously, in this one, but I think he could have been a little bit better. Running game was uber efficient. Again, they just didn't really work into it, obviously, too much. Aaron Jones opened the game with like a 35-yard touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, before he did get injured. Receiving-wise, of course, Justin Jefferson led with 7 for 81 on a touchdown. That matchup against Kobe Durant next week will be really good to watch. Obviously, Jalen Nailor had some big plays, as well as Jordan Addison, of course, a 51-yard bomb from Sam Darnold. Overall, from what I saw from this offense, there was a lot of splash plays, not really much sustained offense. That could hurt them in the future, but honestly, I'm not really that concerned with what this group did this week. They played really well overall. For this defense, though, they can't really blitz as much as they want to. We saw the same problem last year. Obviously, they took the league by storm back in, well, let's say, like week 8 last year. They a lot of blitzes, and obviously just didn't really work at the end of the season. Not only because they were really injured, but again, the cornerbacks weren't really able to play man-to-man that well. We saw that with Tamai Gilmore this weekend. He's old. You can't really expect him to be able to do that too much, but they're really relying on him to be able to do that, as well as Byron Murphy being so versatile in the slot. And that just wasn't really the reality this week. As a result, they obviously kind of were exposed to some big plays. They got to be better against the run as well, because again, these guys can't really fit their gaps super well. They will get exposed. Obviously, 57-yard field goal, though, for Will Reichard. He has been fantastic this year. Both teams had nearly 400 yards. Obviously, very, very efficient. Weren't much bad offensive plays in this one, but again, 2 turnovers overall for both teams. Both were costly in different ways. But with that said, Lions get the win, and basically what was a dead-even grudge match. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Now let's get to CBS's game of the week, and obviously that was also a dandy.
A little glimpse into the future at Green Bay. 2 young dynamic quarterbacks, as you've got C.J. Stroud about to
right tackle, 3rd and 3. Pass a bit forced and picked on the deflection and open lanes, but one player, Love, across the field. Here's Love to the end zone, diving catch. What? He sends this punt down to about the 20-yard line where it bounds toward the end zone. Ball's touched. Here it is, Mixon around the end and in for the touchdown. They get the play in the books now. They don't challenge it in time. They go long. They go long. They get the completion near the 1-yard line. picked.
Guy blitzes one of these guys. Somebody else has to handle it.
Back to Mixon. He's by the wave. He's on his way past McKinney. And there he goes down the sideline.
And force it back inside.
There's Mixon. Mixon finds his way to the end zone. And another Houston touchdown. It's Mixon. He's caught the backfield and denied the 2-point conversion. And a goal from 8 yards out. Right back to Jacobs. No one there for him this time. Touchdown, Green Bay for the lead from 35. Fairbairn delivers the goods here on Wednesday. He's got this to win it. Low snap, the kick. It is good.
And the Packers win their third in a row with a 24-22 win over the Houston Texans. Obviously, who were coming off of, what was it, like a 2 or 3 game winning streak. And obviously, this game ended on the couch potato, Brandon McManus. Now, he just came off the couch and decided to start getting field goals again. Obviously, the Packers needed him, considering how bad Braden Naverson was for them. And obviously, it's a game-winning field goal for them to send into their third straight win. They will have a big game next week in Jacksonville. Probably not, but again, the crowds could be decent. No, they should be able to win that one. Texans obviously will be hosting the Colts in pretty critical division game. That honestly is for the what is called first place in the division. CJ Stroud, I don't know what the hell happened, but he only threw for 86 yards, and I hope it's an off week, but yeah, that did not look good. Also, the Packers secondary is one of the best in the league right now, and yeah, they really shut him down, and yeah, they gave him some really weird, exotic zone looks that I just don't think he was seeing, so I'll say that, but yeah, he was bad in this one. Joe Mixon has been fantastic so far this year. Again, you can't give him 25 carries per game and expect to, win many games, but, still, Joe Mixon was fantastic for a third straight week. He had 2 touchdowns. He carried this offense, to be honest with you guys. No one did anything at receiving. Tank Dell got shut down, to say the least. They might need to make a move. No, they're fine. And Nico Collins will come back, obviously. But you saw they were really ineffective through the air. The O-line was really bad, especially Kenny Green. He gave his turnstile on this one. There's no way around it. But, yeah, Joe Mixon carried them. Defensively, Daniel Ross had 8 tackles. Again, it was kind of unfortunate what happened to him with the touchdown to Dontavian Wicks, but he was fantastic. Neville Hewitt, 9 tackles and an interception, was very good. And I guess he was very good. I don't know. So objectively, he was very good in his starting day for first start of the season. Derek Stingley Jr. 6 tackles. Again, he's one of the better, more talented guys in the league. He looked pretty solid in this one. Tim said also to sack. The problem I think I had with this defense, to be honest with you guys, I just don't think they were always the most focused. But outside of that, they were really good. Kellen Block obviously had the interception as well. Cam Fairbairn hit 3 field goals. Overall, really good game from this defense. Again, they kind of kept him in it for part of it as well. For the Packers, though, Jordan Love, all over the place. He still threw 3 touchdowns, though. And again, kind of a gunslinger mentality for him. Wasn't much downfield, though. I'll say that. They didn't run the ball really at all. But again, it didn't really matter when it came down to it. But again, I'd like to see them run the ball a little bit more against the Jaguars next week. They'll definitely be able to exploit it as well. Romeo Dobbs really bounced back after, again, the benching back in week 5. 8 for 94. Dante Boone was obviously the beauty of a 30-yard touchdown. Tucker Kraft made a diving catch on a bullet. Of course, the first touchdown from Jordan Love, as well as Josh Jacobs obviously scoring what ended up being a huge touchdown for them. Jalen Reed kind of an off week, as well as Christian Watson-Bowman, I think, at the opening catch of the game. But after that, a lot of players in the Packers offense got the football. Again, with their O-line having a bad week overall, just again weren't communicating pressure looks really well, as well as Jordan Love not really assigning guys the greatest protection sets as well. Kind of put them in some bad spots, but they were able to get through it, and of course got the win. For this defense, got a lot of pressure. They penetrated really, really well. The secondary was very good at not giving really much separation at all, especially in those main coverage looks. Evan Williams looks like a guy who could be around here for a while. Lucas Vaness has really struggled so far this year to really generate any sort of wins. It's more the fact that, again, I think his pass rush simply aren't really effective right now. He's kind of probably reinvent what he's going to want to do. Obviously, he does have the what is called the power move, but again, it's not going to really go anywhere if you can't really build off of it. Edgerton Cooper has 3 tackles, had 3 tackles as well. Of course, the other rookie. McManus obviously the game winner. Team stats. The Texans couldn't even get 200 yards. Packers were able to get over 200, almost 300 yards. 3 turnovers over. The Packers really kept this game close. But outside of that, this game was actually very entertaining. Again, a solid one for the Packers. Texans looking to bounce back next weekend, of course, a home game. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Let's get into our later window games. First, start out with my Rams game.
From Los Angeles, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, 4th and 1. Williams the back. Stafford. Williams. Oh, stopped by Hobbs. Nice play. 7 games in the history of the NFL. Flag thrown, 3rd and 8. Being chased, hit by Verse and picked off. Kobe Durant. Kyron Williams, the running back, will get it on 1st and 10. Goes through. Touchdown. 9 consecutive games. Anderson a block. Oh, he's whacked right there. That's a loose ball. Picked up Curl. That is a touchdown. Turner back there as well. Miller the block. Oh, it's intercepted. It's picked off on the play by McCullough. And a pick. 1st and 10. Pile driving. Touchdown. Coming up the middle. 2nd down and 10. Deflected. Intercepted. Spillane. And the ricochet to Hobbs. Here he goes. Look at Hobbs.
And have leverage.
Fake to White, end around. Here comes Trey Tucker. Blockers ahead, including Miller.
Here on 3rd down.
6 in the secondary. 3rd down and 10. Minshew running for his life. Chased by Verse. Throws downfield. It's picked off.
Your eyes, I can't believe.
And the Rams ride a defensive blitz on their way to a big, again, a must-win game against the Raiders, I guess. Of course, they will be playing again in their what is called final home game over the month-long homestand against the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. So yeah, it's a must. Honestly, it's basically a must-win for them. That game will be really fun to watch, and I'll tell you this: if they're able to find a way to beat the Vikings on Thursday night, look out. But in this one, there's really only one big thing to say. The Raiders are just horrible. Holy crap. How do they not win this game? Obviously, they fall to 2-5 now. They're going to play in the Chiefs next week. They will be 2-6 after that game. I can guarantee you that, especially after what we saw from the Chiefs this week. But yeah, they got in the red zone 5 times, and they just couldn't put that ball in the end zone. Almost 5 times. Maybe like halftime field goal didn't count. But still, they had, oh my God, so many opportunities. They could not get the ball in the end zone. Of course, Aiden O'Connell shattered his thumb. He's going to be out the next 4 weeks. Right there, obviously, on the throwing arm. So, or throwing hand. So, he'll be out the next 4 to 6 weeks. So, basically a month. Yeah, he'll be out for a while. Gardner Minshew was awful. I wouldn't say he was awful. He had 4 turnovers. Yeah, it was not good. Under 50% completion, like he just was really bad. The decision making was definitely lacking, to be honest with you guys. He's really the honestly individual reason the Rams won this game. Alexander Madison was again solid, not great, but he was solid. 92 rushing yards, honestly probably his career high. So at least the past couple of years. Brock Bowers 10 for 93 is now set an NFL record with most catches through his team's first 7 games at tight end. Obviously rookie, anybody. 10 catches, obviously. 93 yards, of course. No, that's for rookie tight ends. My bad. Trey Tucker 3 for 36 as well. But either way, this offense, they're awful and they were really bad. But they had so many opportunities, guys. Like I don't know how they got in the end zone. But the big thing I want to talk about: Brock Bowers, Colin Miller, their 2 best offensive players, could not decide who they were going to block, and as a result, they couldn't get DJ Turner in the end zone, which honestly would have been the game-winning touchdown as well. So yeah, the Raiders suck. Like I thought, I'm like, if we lose this game, we're so bad. So that's what I'll say. This defense, though, they feasted on the fact that the Rams had nobody to throw the football to. And as a result, Max Crosby had a sack, and they've obviously got an interception on a jump pass. They were like telegraphing every single thing, obviously, the Rams' offense was. So they were asked to jump on that as well. They dominated on 3rd down. This defense has been one of the best 3rd down teams in the league. Also, this defense could win them a couple games, but again, with how bad that offense is, I really don't know. But overall, they were pretty good. Again, they were decent. They kept them in the game, and that's really all I got to say about them. Dan O'Connell obviously had 5 field goals, had a busy day. 47 was his longest field goal. Matt Stafford, again, stat-wise, didn't look good at all. He was also like insanely conservative. Them getting Cooper Kupp and I hope a healthy Jordan Whittington back this week is like it's a necessity, because if they don't have those guys, they will not move the football next week. Tyler Johnson, not a guy you want on the field consistently. Tutu Atwell can't run a route without, again, having what is called being motioned. Colin Parkinson is just an average tight end, to be honest with you guys. Demarcus Robinson has sucked this year. I mean, they have no one to throw the football to, guys. No one is getting open. Kyron Williams, 3.6 yards per carry. He was the only guy being able to do anything. Of course, scored 2 touchdowns, though. He is now, 9 straight games with a touchdown, something like that. But obviously, the biggest thing for the Rams, they need Cooper Kupp, and they just get Cooper Kupp back is just going to do everything. Obviously, the O-line is kind of falling apart right now because, again, they can't have 2 backup rookie centers starting on the O-line. It's just not going to go well. But yeah, that's all I got for them. The offense was atrocious, again, as you expected, considering, again, no one was able to catch the football. Defensively, they were probably the best game you'll see from them in a while. Obviously, Jalen McCullough has had 3 interceptions in the past 2 games. Again, 2-pick game in this one. He was probably their player of the game. Outside of Kobe Durant, who I think is arguably the best player in this defense. He had 2 tackles, of course, a sack, forced fumble, of course, the scoop and score for Cameron Curl, who has finally really showed up on this team. Obviously, a pick as well for Kobe Durant. This guy is fantastic. Darius Williams also was very, very good, of course, on the boundary as well. Christian Rose, and where is he? Troy Reader, they're just not very good. I still don't know why they're doing it. Michael Hoy had himself a game. They got so much pressure. This defense looked really fun and really good to watch. Yeah, they dominated most of this game. Josh Cardi has missed a field goal and extra point. Like to see him not do that next week. So again, if he got to what is called the Kings out on this one, that would be huge. Rams struggled to get 250 yards of offense. Obviously, the yards per play was lacking as well. 4 turnovers over the Raiders, really the difference in this one, guys. Come down to it. Obviously, the scoop and score was the literal difference. But the Rams escape with a defensive dominating win. And that is all I got for you guys here with the Rams game. Now let's get to the blah. I'll just go through the next one really quick.
NFL on CBS today from Landover, Maryland. It's Week 7. The Carolina Panthers going against the Washington Commanders.
For Carolina, Dalton on the move. He tried to throw it to his own man. He threw it to the other team. Intercepted by Fowler, and he's gonna go.
The city's feeling it as well.
And number 5, it's a big reason why. It's Daniels on first down. Huge gain for Daniels. Chunks of yards for Daniels. Pistol formation with Hubbard. Fake the handoff. Dalton deals, and he throws it right to Forbes.
Defense has struggled against it all year long.
Another run. Robinson. Not going to stop him. Robinson. Touchdown. Mariota. Tosses. Touchdown. Snagged by Ertz. Ben Sinnott. Fake it. Mariota throws it. Caught by Sinnott. Touchdown. Scoring defense. Carolina looking to get on the board here with Hubbard. Corners. Touchdown. 3rd and 7. Mariota waiting. On the move. He hits McClure.
And I'm going through this one quick. Obviously, the Commanders just absolutely pummel the Panthers as expected. Of course, this is their biggest win, I think, since like 2014. Oh yeah, party like it's 2014, I guess. Yeah, whatever. The Commanders take care of business with an absolute just dismantling of the Panthers, they're the worst team in the league, I guess. They've gotten blown out in like every single game this year except one where they actually won. But still, the Panthers are atrocious. They're in the exact same place they were last year, if not even worse. Obviously, the Commanders are going to be playing in a huge game against the Bears next week in front of the whole country. Again, biggest news not even coming from like the actual game, obviously. But the Panthers obviously they're playing the Broncos next week on the road. Yeah, that's all I'm giving you guys. And Dalton was trash. Bryce Young came in at the end and threw for negative passing yards. They didn't run the ball well. They didn't catch the ball well. Their defense sucked. Charles Harris had a sack. No one really kicked the football. For the Commanders, Marcus Mariota actually looked really good in relief, but again, it was the Panthers, so you can't really expect much. Daniels obviously messed up his ribs. He's questionable, obviously, like I said in the intro, week to week with that injury. But hey, you never know what's happening there. Brian Robinson Jr. Was very efficient. Didn't really need to run the ball though. Terry McLaurin saved me for fantasy 6 for 98 yards. Jesus. Zach Ertz, 4 catches, 40 yards. Obviously had a touchdown as well as Ben Sinnott. Both tight ends made plays, I guess. O-line was very good. Brandon Coleman getting concussion is a little bit of an issue, though. But overall, they played really well offensively. Defensively, absolutely, the 67-yard touchdown on the pick 6 from Deontay Fowler to open up. Also had a sack as well. This defense was really, really good. And, yeah, that's about all I got. Emmanuel Forbes, of course, had a nice interception as well. Mike Sanders still led the team in tackles. Ozzy Tyree had 4 field goals. And, yeah, the Commanders had 400 yards of offense. They controlled the whole entire clock. Commanders sucked. The Panthers suck. The Commanders are good. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Let's get to America's Game of the Week.
Welcome to Levi Stadium here in Santa Clara, California. It is a great one. America's Game of the Week, a Super Bowl rematch from last year with the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers.
Talented. That's why.
Oh, it's a sneak, and the Chiefs are going to be short. They pulled a fake on the fake punt second. On a fake, Purdy looking deep, sets up, lost one. That is intercepted. There was nobody there at all. It's picked up by Justin Reed. Quick throw, tip. Oh, and it's intercepted. Mahomes give Hunt. He's in. Touchdown, Kansas City. Hunt, good cut, and another one. And Kareem Hunt surging to the end zone, and he is in. Purdy in trouble. Steps away. Lets it fly. Has Kittle. He's got it. Up. Mahomes steps in. Lost one. Worthy fell down. It's intercepted beyond the Lenore. Who's got it? Purdy on the sneak, and he's in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Multiple blitzers picked up. Purdy coming on stride and intercepted. It was way high. Pressure. Mahomes senses it. Steps away. Gets around Fred Warner. Oh, what a run. Now dances for a goal. He's still in bounds. Patrick Mahomes. 4th and goal. Mahomes gonna walk in. Touchdown. There's a penalty.
See him wearing into the stadium. He should have on the sideline.
Purdy, another blitz. Stands in. Oh, he's got a man. It is caught. Jacob Cowling.
There's Chris Jones.
3rd and goal. Purdy. And as he throws, it's intercepted.
Not many coaches adapt like Coach Reed does.
Oh, a little sweep. Armin. No one near him. Makes a cut. Racing to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown. Purdy on the keeper. Up and looks like he's in. He is. Touchdown.
I just kept it to myself. I don't wanna know.
And the Chiefs, yeah, they sleepwalk the games at this point, guys. Like, what the heck? Yep, they moved to 6-0, knocking off the Niners, who, of course, have a lot of problems, to say the least. Of course, they're going to be playing the Raiders next week, so they'll probably sleep their way into another win. But, hey, they're doing their thing, I guess. Yeah, of course, first time the Chiefs are now 6-0, and they're in the Mahomes era, obviously, from 2017 to 2020. Mahomes, obviously, didn't play back in 2017, but they started out 4-0 all those years, obviously. Only team in NFL history for that to happen, obviously. Mahomes' first starting season, they went 5-0, so yeah, 6-0 for the first time. And yeah, he is still somehow 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the season, still leading the MVP race. Like, what the heck's going on there? We'll get to the Niners, obviously, in a second. But for Mahomes, he was bad through the air, 2 interceptions. Again, a lot of them was miscommunication, but still. He's been awful this year, guys. Like, he's struggling, like, not the usual Mahomes. But again, it doesn't matter because, again, they're still 6-0, like I just said. Running game, I think they had like 150 total yards. They were pretty physical up front, but again, Kareem Hunt really didn't like do much at all. Did get in the end zone twice though, so that's good. Patrick Mahomes obviously as well had a touchdown, as well as that gross 33-yard run. Again, the touchdown was obviously a truck stick, I guess, but yeah, that was a game for him there. McCarron obviously with the game-clinching jet sweep touchdown as well. No grade, let him receiving, kind of tells you what he's working with right now. Zero, whether he's good for a streak, not like a streak at the field, but like running a streak. I don't know, like a hitch route and jet sweep. But outside of that, can't really do much. Travis Kelce he hasn't done anything this year, to be honest with you guys. And they actually need a receiver. But honestly, it really doesn't matter considering what they're doing. This defense is so good, though. Honestly, that's what my takeaway from this game. They're downright elite. Steve Spagnuolo knows what the heck he's doing. Obviously, they're only 1 sack, though. But, yeah, they ran a lot of man, and that really frustrated Brock Purdy. He got through a tantrum. And when you do that, well, yeah, you get the worst Brock Purdy game. And, yeah, this defense really dominated, to be honest with you guys. The punt got also 60 yards per punt. Like, Jesus, bro. Obviously, for the Niners, Brock Purdy threw 3 interceptions. Arguably the worst start of his career. I'm not going to say so. He threw 4 last year against the Ravens. So maybe he's just playing against good teams. Obviously, the Niners fell to 3-4. They will be playing against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. That game will be a crappy one. Obviously, though, Brock Purdy really just did a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes by him. Obviously, his footwork wasn't where you're used to seeing. I think it was just like more like happy feet. And also the fact that, again, he kind of like missed guys over the middle was also a little bit weird. Jordan Mason, obviously, 58 yards, 4.1 yards per carry. He was decent. Brock Purdy also scored 2 touchdowns on QB sneaks. But when it came down to just Brock Purdy, those critical turnovers were the difference in this one. George Kittle, at least, was pretty good receiving, 6 for 92. Obviously, Jacob Cohen showed up with a big play. But outside of that, of course, Brandon Ayuk out for the season. Ricky Pearsall, oh yeah, big headline there. Obviously returning from what happened to him. Again, I hope he can have a pretty successful rookie year after this, obviously. And then Kyle Juszczyk also had a couple targets, but wasn't really effective. Again, he had a 14-yard run, so he was somewhat effective, but still. Again, overall, some splash plays for this offense, but when it came down, they really weren't really able to sustain much at all. And as well, again, Deebo Samuel is really going to be the only guy that can really count on for the next couple weeks, as well as George Kittle, because Ayuk's out for the year. They don't really have a guy who can again win consistently on that outside, as we saw in this one. And when that happens, again, Purdy has to throw guys open, and that's just not really something he's been really used to having to do the first couple of years. Kyle Shanahan's also got to do work, get through this adversity, because if they're not able to do that, could be a rough year, or just a frustrating year, honestly. Malik Mustafa got absolutely destroyed, but he was very good outside of that play. Had 12 tackles. As well as the fact that Deontay Lenore had a nice interception as well. But when it came down to this, defense just didn't really look like they were on top of things, and also they were playing a lot of base coverages. And what that tells you is that this group isn't really ready to get to that next level in terms of, again, them as a unit, in terms of chemistry as well. Again, if they're not going to be able to get on the next page, this defense will give up big plays. They won't be as good as they need to be. As well as, like, they just didn't look like they got overmatched in a lot of ways. Like, and when that happens, it's kind of hard for you guys to win games. Obviously, picked by Khalil Davis as well, the defensive lineman, but outside of a couple of first turnovers, they didn't look too great. Andres Carlson also had 2 field goals. He had a 55-yarder. No, did he? Yeah, it was 55. Damn. For the team stats, though, then what is it called? The Chiefs obviously had more yards than them, not by much, but still. 35 minutes possession, 2 to 3 turnovers. Really just a sloppy game overall. The Chiefs, again, still great on third down because that's what they're good at. And yeah, 184 rushing yards led the way for them. That's why they had so much more possession. And yeah, they get to 6-0, sleepwalking through games, only undefeated team left in the league. We'll get to more of them obviously on Wednesday. Niners, they got a lot of problems. So I got for you guys here. Let's get to the last game of the night. Of course, it was Sunday Night Football.
An ideal Sunday night at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh as the sellout crowd welcomes their 4-2.
Holbrook walking down to the official in case the timeout was needed. It wasn't because Hall's taken off to the end zone in for the touchdown. From the 24th, play action, protected. There's your shot downfield towards Pickens. Steelers get the pressure. Rodgers knows where to go with it. Breece Hall on the run. To the secondary, past the tackler at the 20. Or not, he's going to challenge. He dropped the flag before he could throw it, so Rodgers instead runs the play, and it's a touchdown to Conklin. Second and a long 4. Gets spread it out. Smith came around the edge. Rodgers has hands intercepted. Pulled away. Second and 10. Gets bring 4. Moves in end zone. Shot. Pickens. Got it. Touchdown Pittsburgh. Third 5. Jets bring the heat. Great blitz pickup. Fryermuth running in with one hand. 3 guys, one hand. Here's Rodgers. Back, sideline straight. Goes in. Intercepted. He didn't catch it. Beanie Bishop did. It's first and goal. Wilson is keeping and sneaking, getting pushed to the goal line. And he is short. Worked on a little technique this week. This is 35. Oh, it got blocked. Steelers are doing an unbelievable job. The Steelers didn't give up a point in the third quarter. That's been true all year. And they keep scoring points. Najee Harris on the run. Wilson. Fires end zone touchdown. Van Jefferson. 30 seconds here. Both teams done with timeout. Najee Harris to the end zone.
And on Sunday Night Football, of course, the Steelers used that second half shutout to get a comeback win. Of course, they were down by 2 scores at one point in this game over the New York Jets, of course, who have a lot of problems. They obviously lose their 4th in a row, fall to 2-5, and are probably in a they're in a must-win position, of course, against Patriots next week. But thankfully, they're playing the Patriots, so they're at least in a good spot there. Of course, we'll start with Aaron Rodgers. He has yet to throw for 300 yards, like 22, I think it's 21 actually, straight games without the 300-yard passing game. That's going to have to change at some point. But of course, 276, touchdown, 2 interceptions. One of the interceptions was not his fault. The other one was. He is now, he's throwing the interceptions at a rate that he never has before, even back in 2022, which was arguably a really down year for him. But obviously, didn't really matter because they didn't make the playoffs. But still, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, is just throwing picks like way more than he usually is, and he's also throwing the ball way more than he should. Breece Hall again he had a 57-yard catch and run there, but outside of that, like, and led them receiving for 6 for 103, but they can't really run the ball effectively. This O-line is not what is it called? I wouldn't say they're not even penetrating. They're just not able to create really any sort of holes, and the yards before contact just really aren't there, and when that happens, it's really hard for running backs to really get anything going in the game. So that was obviously very apparent in this one. Again, they weren't able to run the ball, establish a run game early either. Alan Lazard was actually very good. I think he got open very consistently. Garrett Wilson also got open, but only 5 for 61. Again, he dropped. That was a really bad drop. Like, as a number 1 guy, you just can't make that mistake. But Devontae Adams 3 for 30. He was okay, I guess, in his debut. Not really though. He got targeted like. No, he got shut out in the second half, so not great overall. Tyler Conklin had his first touchdown of the year. Maybe not. He caught a touchdown anyway, though. Again, biggest takeaway, though, Jets O-line just isn't really good enough, and obviously Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball way too much. For this defense, Jalen Mills was terrible in coverage. Will McDonald at least had a sack, though. Biggest thing I saw, though, overall was the fact that, again, they weren't really tracking balls well at all in the secondary. And again, a guy like Sauce Gardner didn't really have the best game either. Again, a lot of flags, a lot of undisciplined plays. Again, having Robert Saleh there, head coach, would not have had that happen in this one. But still, they get up guys, nearly 40 points. Got Bo Race in the second half. Like, that's inexcusable. Like, guys, like, what was that? But still, it's one game. Gregor's own line broke the field goal as well. Again, it was more of a block, but still. But now for the Steelers, obviously, the biggest takeaway for them, obviously, is the fact that, again, you got to kind of trust Mike Tomlin, knows what he's doing. Russell Wilson looked really good. Started out slow, but, like, who cares? Obviously, they're now 5-2 in the season. Their best start since, of course, they started out 11-0 back in 2020. They will be playing a game where they actually have a chance to get 6-2, if not, believe it or not. I think they're playing who are they playing next week? Oh, they get the Giants on Monday Night Football, so that'll be interesting for sure. Obviously, not even a murderer. They actually got lucky with some with the Browns collapsing in the second half of the season there, but still, again, very tough second half. Russell Wilson, though, again, 16 of 29, 264, 2 touchdowns. Again, you saw in that one drive the Pat Freiermuth insane one-handed catch, and obviously the George Pickens touchdown, too. I mean, that was just an unfair drive there, but obviously Russell Wilson, really good moon balls. Looks like he knows what he's doing in this offense. Again, a rough start, but figured out in the end of it, and he got the Steelers to a big win. Najee Harris had another big rushing game, obviously 100 yards for the second straight week. Scored a touchdown, also had another 30-plus yard run. Maybe not that long, but still. Jalen Warren was pretty, I won't say he obviously wasn't efficient, but he looked pretty solid, and again, his return there. Russell Wilson also had a QB sneak touchdown. George Pickens, 5 for 111 and a touchdown, led the way at receiving. Obviously, he had a crazy one-hand catch on that deep ball as well as another touchdown. Pat Freiermuth, 2 for 51. Again, he made a big play as well as, again, that great one-handed catch. Van Jefferson had a touchdown again as well. Calvin Austin with a 36-yard catch and run there as well. Overall, though, for this offense, a lot of big plays, a lot of fun, which, again, you're obviously not used to seeing for the Steelers offense. As well, O-line played really well, too. For this defense, obviously, Beanie Bishop Jr., best name in football, had 2 picks for 6 tackles, really put his name on the canvas of the Steelers defense. Larry Ogunjobi had a sack, and obviously this defense won me fantasy, so I'm happy with that second-half shutout. Not too many sacks, but, like, you know what? Who cares? This defense played really, really well. Again, blocked the kick, too. Really good group overall, obviously, there as well. As Chris Boswell, not missing a kick as usual. For the team stats, Steelers had over 400 yards of offense. I think it was a while. Again, they obviously broke it last year, but it was a while before they did that. That's really all I got for you guys here. Again, that's all I got for you guys here in the Week 7 NFL Sunday recap. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, and kind of get your eyes as quick as you can. Obviously, here was how the Yankees got to the World Series. I don't know. Here we go, guys. But that's all I got for you guys in this NFL Week 7 Sunday recap. And yeah, see ya for the Monday Night Football recap tomorrow.
Got a steal. Soto, a high fly ball to center. Thomas backing up. Thomas at the track. And Juan Soto!